Our next outstanding mother honoree is the 75th Governor of Rhode Island, Gina Raimondo. Gina is the first woman to serve as Governor of Rhode Island, a long-time public servant. She's also got a long history of outstanding academic achievement after being valedictorian of LaSalle Academy in Providence. She went on to graduate with honors from Harvard, where she was recognized as the top economics student in her class. She earned a Rhodes Scholarship to Oxford, where she earned a doctorate, and she met her future husband, Andy Moffat. And Gina later graduated from Yale Law School. Jesus, Gina, you're showing everybody up here. Couldn't you have just stuck with your PhD? She also served as a founding employee and senior vice president at Village Ventures in New York, but Rhode Island had a tight grip on her heart, and in 2000 she returned, co-founding Point Judith Capital, Rhode Island's first venture capital firm. She was elected to serve as General Treasurer of Rhode Island in 2010, receiving the largest number of votes of any statewide candidate. And she was sworn into office as governor in January 2015 and has since won a second term. Gina, put down the glass, get out there and run for president. What are you doing? What are you doing here? It's time. She's also the chair of the Democratic Governors Association, only the second woman to hold that role. She's helped kickstart Rhode Island's economy, creating thousands of jobs, and she's helped bring Rhode Island's unemployment rate to its lowest level in 3 decades, after campaigning at a point when it was at the highest in the country. It's an extraordinary achievement. She's made record investments in infrastructure and education, and under her leadership, Rhode Island has become the 4th state in the country to offer tuition-free community college for every high school grade, which is an amazing, amazing achievement. So please join me in congratulating Gina Raimondo as a 2019 Outstanding Mother nominee.
Thank you. Good afternoon and happy Mother's Day to all the moms. That was very embarrassing. When I saw Joanna, I said, "Oh, this is so fun. This is going to be fun." And she said, "Wait until I roast you." So I suppose relatively it was kind. So I appreciate you going easy on me. Congratulations to the other honorees. It was wonderful for me to listen to you, and I'm so proud of you, and hope that we can all stay in touch because I think you're amazing. So congratulations to you. I want to thank Save the Children. You are incredible. I got a text early this morning from Mark Shriver. I think I got the blow-by-blow of his traffic problems because I kept getting texts. They started with, "Gina, I might be a little bit late," finally to, "I'm so sorry I can't make it." My top legislative priority this year is to bring about universal public pre-K in the state of Rhode Island. We will get this done. I saw my own children flourish with high-quality pre-K, and every child deserves that opportunity, and we're going to make that happen, and I am going to make it happen with and because of the support and brain power of Save the Children. So to all of you at Save the Children, thank you, thank you, thank you for all that you do. Thank you to the National Mother's Day Committee. You're pretty amazing. And I hear this is a blockbuster event, most money raised ever. So to all of you, thank you. And finally, but very importantly, to the folks at my table, thank you. My friends, my supporters, people who believe in me, and people who care about kids. Thank you, guys. So I have 2 children, my daughter, Cece, and my son, Tommy. And when I found out that I was going to receive this award, I went home that evening, and we were having dinner, And I said, hey, great news. I'm going to be receiving this Outstanding Mother Award. And without missing a beat, my 13-year-old daughter said, seriously? They didn't even ask us. She was totally offended. She's like, how are they qualified to decide if you're a good mother? They didn't even ask Tommy and I. So, that's as you say, kids are different. There you go from the teenager. Today, as I was leaving, my son, who is 12 and, mommy's son, I said, okay, mommy's going to go and get this award, and I have things to do in New York. And he said, without missing a beat, no one deserves this award more than you, Mom. So that's the balance that I have in my house. That pretty much sums it right up to they ought to talk to me to reconsider, and I love you, Mom. But in all seriousness, I am incredibly honored to be here, and probably like the other women, am not totally sure I deserve it, but we try hard every day to be the best moms that we can be. And I'm unbelievably blessed with a gorgeous, wonderful family, 2 kids, an incredibly supportive husband. And I feel honored to be surrounded today by so many talented women and committed mothers. And for all of you, even though I don't know you by name, I know who you are, and I know what you go through every day, and know with confidence that you're terrific mothers. And on those days that you wonder, you are. Because you love your kids, and as you said, you do everything that you can for them. My mother always said to me, and you're making a difference in the world with your families and in your careers. My mother always said to me, from the time I was a little bit of a thing, I'm the youngest of 3 kids, my parents worked incredibly hard so my brother and sister and I could go to college. They sacrificed like I can't believe. She said, Gina, if you ever need something done, ask a busy woman. It was her spin on give something to a busy person. She clarified, give it to a busy woman. Because if you ask for a busy woman to do something, it gets done. And I put a further spin on that, which is ask a mom. And I have seen, since I've been governor, the power and influence of mothers. Do not get in the way of a mother advocating for something she believes in. That could be Moms Demand Action, who advocate incredibly forcefully and effectively for common sense gun safety. Yes. That could be for moms advocating for better schools, high-quality childcare, high-quality pre-K. There is a purpose and sense of principle and righteousness and fairness and love that a mother takes to her advocacy. And I've seen it firsthand as governor. 2 years ago, we were able to pass in Rhode Island a bill which said if you're convicted of domestic violence, you can't have a gun. I know, it's shocking, right, that I thought we should do that? In any event, we were successful. It took me 2.5 years to get it done due to resistance. You know why it happened? Moms. They came, God bless them, every day, all night, all day, advocating. They weren't there for their own, purpose or their own sense of importance. They were there because they love their kids and want the same opportunities for every other kid to be safe in school. And so that's why we got it done. And I believe that being a mom makes me a better governor. I know that to be true. Often I'm introduced, as I was today, as the 75th governor and the first woman, which is true, but I'm also the first mom. I'm the first mom to be in the governor's office in Rhode Island. And I'll never forget the second week I was in office, a lot of people come into the governor's office, and several people said, it's so different in the governor's office. There are pictures of your family, pictures of your kids' art, picture, I have a clock that my son made me, and they said, it's nice to have a family in the governor's office. And I can say that my children push me to be a better governor. Like last year after Parkland, when I was advocating for gun safety legislation, my daughter, I came home one day, dead tired, late at night. My daughter was doing her homework at the kitchen table. She said, "Hey, Mom, did you hear about that shooting in Florida?" And I said, "Oh, it's terrible, honey." And she said, "Well, what are you going to do about it?" And I started into my, the federal government needs to ban assault weapons, background checks. She shut me down. "No, Mom, what are you going to do about it?" And even saying it today, I have the shivers. So I went in the next morning, bright and early, hauled my staff into my office and said, "What are we doing about it?" I signed an executive order putting forth red flag policy, so getting guns out of the hands of dangerous people. And 2 months later, we passed red flag legislation in Rhode Island. Now, Cece put it to me, because she's tired of being afraid in schools, like every other kid in America, and she put it to me. Or my son, who is dyslexic, who said, "Mom, we can afford for me to go to the school that he goes to. What are you doing about public schools to make sure kids like me in public schools get this same, teaching that we need to be successful?" They don't want to hear excuses. They want to know, are you going to deliver? And by the way, every child deserves a well-funded and flourishing public school that meets their needs so they can be successful and have opportunity, not just the kids whose parents are able to provide that in private education. And I also think that, what I try to do as governor, as somebody said, there's nothing a mother wouldn't do for her kids. We fight like the dickens for our kids. And I'm guilty as charged. Do anything for your kids. But what I try to do is fight just as hard for other people's kids. And that's what I tried to take with me into the office. Whether that's climate change, what do I want for my children? A climate that they can inherit that is, sustainable. My daughter said to me, "Mom, you're going to die of old age, we're going to die of climate change." I want a job for them. I want my kids to have opportunities for high-quality, high-paying jobs. I want them to have a good education. I want them to have gun-free schools. Well, so because I'm a mother, and I want that for my own kids, and I would do anything for them, I'd like to think I take a greater sense of purpose to my job, and it makes me a better governor and more effective. Because it's not about the notoriety and the press and the this and the that. It's about getting the job done for the people of Rhode Island, and the families of Rhode Island and the kids of Rhode Island. And I will tell you this, so often when I'm interviewed, particularly when I was running for office, I would be asked by a member of the press, "So what are you, Gina? Are you a warm and fuzzy mom, or are you an ambitious, hard-charging executive?" They couldn't place me. Which one are you? And of course, the obvious answer is both. And why can't you be both? I love my children. I do my work more efficiently to get home to be with them. It is the most important job I ever will have. But I'm also serious about being governor because I have 1 million people relying upon me to do my job. And it shouldn't be that you're asked, "So pick, which one? A mom or an executive?" So, and as I said before, and I think we've heard before, I think being one makes you better at the other. So here's the deal, people. We have a lot of work to do as long as we're still being asked those questions. So today, that is the challenge that I put to all of you and I put to myself. If we're going to get this country to a place where our daughters can be whatever they want to be if they work hard, and don't have to be asked to choose, and don't have to be asked that question because it's not confusing, then we have to pave that way. And there is still more work to be done. And I think that's one of the best things we can do to honor our mothers and to help our kids, our sons and our daughters. So I end by wishing you all a happy Mother's Day. My mother is now 87 and wasn't able to travel. I told her I was receiving this, and she cried, and she said, "I'm so proud of you." There is no doubt in my mind that because of her, because of my aunt who dropped out of high school to get a job at a bakery, so my dad could go to college, there's so many women in my life, godmothers, aunts, my sister, my mother, who have been there for me, who have helped me, who have picked me up, who have paved the way. I love you all. I'll do my best to make you proud. And happy Mother's Day to everybody here.